Chucks, yes, we do have a lot to say, but first I just want to say 2 for 2 on the day. Crumbs goes against the rest of the analysts.
That's right.
Both predictions and gets them both correct.
I'm so happy I'm wrong.
Yeah. I'm glad you're wrong too, just for what it's worth. But it's worth pointing out, Crumbs
I'm glad I'm right.
I am too. He is the most successful player on this entire analyst desk. He's the only team to win a series in the NALCS playoffs.
Oh.
So I gotta say, of course he's right.
Good
about
on
that.
you, Crumbs.
Well, let's talk
Good
about
on
the
you.
game. Start with picks and bans. Rammus pick comes out. We've seen it twice this year from the Europeans. Once when Wicked actually played it top, and once when Diamond Prox played it against Fnatic. Not really competitive. Crumbs, I know you played it last year, if memory serves correctly. What did we think of it?
You said
I
competitive.
Well, I like to see the Rammus. I like the Rammus, but I did not like to see the Jarvan from Meteos. Now, what tells me seeing that Jarvan pick means that when they early picked Zillion, right off the bat, they're already committing to a mid lane Zillion. That's because you're taking Jarvan because you want a physical jungler while having 2 magic lanes. So you have Ryze top, Zillion mid, really heavy magic damage. If you take an Elise, the other team can really itemize just full on MR and kind of negate 3/5 of your team comp. So they kind of stuck with the Jarvan in that regard, but I feel like they should have put something else. Like the Jarvan is just, it's such a hard champion to pull off, to be honest. Against Alistar, out of all champions, he can literally combo every ability that you have. And when you go in, he combos on your backline, and there's no way you make waves as big as he does.
So, Crepo, I like the Morgana pick into a lot of the single target CC from Cloud9. Picks and bans went out that way. The game felt like an extended laning phase, but Alliance seemed to have the strategic edge this time around, pushing around the map. Do you think that's true, or what's your opinion?
I'm not even sure. I think the early game, both teams had good responses to what was going on, but I think what the key factor that broke up and opened this game was a dive on top lane. Basically, getting Aurelia ahead, getting Shook the necessary kill he needs, because if he sits on that build without getting any advantage ever, he's going to suffer through the mid to late game. Diving, if you saw that Balls, he just left that top lane. After the dive, he could never go back. Cloud9 was playing a very, very tower-focused game initially, and then transitioned into a dragon. Sure, and Balls sacrificed himself, but Wicked got so big that it was impossible to ignore in the teamfights, and I really think that play, that single play, is what basically tilted the game for Alliance.
Freak.
Yeah, I really agree. I really love these dive-focused junglers. We see a lot of teams who want to play a very slow early game. They wait to 50 minutes to do anything. But we've seen how darn good Alistar is. Hits level 6, dives turrets forever. We've seen Rammus, even with rank 1 ball curl, can just dive turrets and tank a bunch of shots and not care about it, and just set up these lanes for advantages. And I love these jungle top synergies where they get the one-on-one kill, that matchup snowballs, and it's oftentimes so hard to gank top because of the position on the map that lane is in. You can't flip the matchup back a lot of the time.
Crumbs, I see you get very excited.
Yeah,
before the
this
replay.
is really exciting. So the entire game, Meteos is really trying to counter gank a top lane gank from Rammus, and Rammus never shows up. And he goes, I think, twice, and then gives up on it. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to triple ward top. So he had a ward in river, a ward at Tri, and a ward at doubles to protect the gank from Rammus. And then Shook magically finds a way, and he just goes through the lane and gets a gank at the perfect opportunity. So he just never bit the bait that Meteos was trying to set up, and that ultimately snowballed. Like he somehow knew that Meteos was putting all of his attention on top, and he just completely bypassed it and won the game from that.
Well, let's accelerate to about 27 minutes into the game. There was 2 very dramatic team fights that happened back-to-back, just 2 minutes apart. So this is the first one at 27 minutes. We will fast forward to the one at 29 minutes when we get there. I think Crepo and Crumbs, you guys were very excited about these 2 fights. Crepo, kick us off for this one as we roll the clip out and tell me what's happening.
I just want to describe like what both teams are trying to do here. This is a very brawly fight. Meteos makes the mistake of going in here, and then Alliance kind of makes the mistake of overextending into the choke. They could just turn back on Meteos and try and kill him. Frogger does a good job jumping and distracting, jumping back immediately right here as well. Wicked goes in deep, but this is the problem. If you engage into a Morgana, she can soul shackles very efficiently, and that's why Lemonation was building that Zhonya so he could keep doing that later in the game. But eventually he fell behind, and then that's why he needed the kills more as well. The Chrono Shift kind of comes out too late. Balls is already dead. But what ends up making this a 4v4 is Tabs moving to the left right here. He wants that Morgana so badly, even flashes for it. Keep your eye on Ryze right now. Kills Froggen as he spawns. The bomb comes out on Nif later. And Balls basically picks up 3 kills because Tabs just wanted the Morgana. The game could have been over here already. And the fight could have just been played better on both sides, but it just shows you how much of a brawly type of game this comes, especially when you add Zillion into the mix with the Chrono Shift doing really good things sometimes and doing some things really poor, as we'll see in the next team fight.
Yeah, now we're going to have a fight where the game actually is over after this one. So we start off and notice that Cloud9 has almost no vision into this. They only have a ward at Island. Now that's going to come into play later on when Wicked goes in because they have no sight on high. But since he casts a bomb on them, on Wicked, he reveals himself and gives Wicked an opportunity to jump to him. So roll the clip. He jumps in right here. The TP immediately from Rise. So Alliance disengages, tries to get away from the culling. And right now, Chrono Shift goes on accidentally on high. Meteos goes in. They need to leave at this point. But they get baited by the Morgana bind. Morgana goes in to try to distract him with a huge Soul Shackle, but it's too late. Rise came in into melee range of Rammus, gets taunted, and you just can't go in this positioning. You have to just leave. After Chrono Shift is down, you need to realize how big of an ability this is for your team comp right now, and just accept that they could have left the fight and just leave Morgana to go, but overcommitting to baiting themselves through a bind cost them the game and that fight.
Following the rest of the game, it was fairly clean from Alliance. They really didn't put themselves in risky situations. Probably, we haven't heard from you much this segment. What did you take of Alliance's team fights or how Cloud9 played the matchup?
I really liked Alliance on like two big fronts. The first one was the team fights. I thought they did a really good job of splitting their focus. They had Aurelia and Ahri, and you never saw them just stack all on one person. They kind of kept their damage spread around. And like Froggen said in his interview, he got a tankier, more sustained damage build, which I thought was really important. And then the second thing was Alliance's way to win so far has been to focus ganks top. And all of that works really well against C9 because their bot lane isn't super prominent. Sneaky and Lemon haven't been like hard carrying games. So when Alliance is camping top, Cloud9 can't take that much because their bot lane isn't just like stomping that way.
Yeah, I just want to point out just a little bit more about that, like the debate about Mikhails against the Zhonya's. A lot of people on Twitter were calling out LM, like, why did you not build Mikhails? You know, is Creppa gonna whine about this again? But I actually think if you're Cloud9 and you're ahead, I think Zhonya's is a really good choice for those fights because you can move forward and Alliance can't really turn as hard on you and just nuke somebody down because you'll have the black shields and the turns are very telegraphed. If you're behind, however, you saw they needed that Mikhails and they fell behind, and that's what cost them the game because you saw Shook at the end of the game. He knew there was no reaction speed on the black shield enough, flashed on into immediate blow up, and Hai couldn't even do a thing.
Yep, definitely the case. So Alliance keep their playoff chances alive. With that win, they are now 2-2. They also make Cloud9 2-2. This is making the group of life, as it were, or whatever it is, a little more interesting. All right, guys, we're going to step away for a moment, and when we come back, it is another cross-regional LCS clash as North America's LMQ takes on Europe's Fnatic.
They've managed to lock up Balls, but he gets the kill onto Froggen. Shook will actually go down as well. Balls are still going.
Can't deliver any more damage. They pick up one. They pick up two. They're on the Balls now with the Pedva pulverized. The minion waves are hugely pouring in for Alliance right now. They could look to seal the deal. Balls one of the last ones standing. Sneaky on the outside.